Hello, good evening and welcome to News 360 here from the News Hub at Adesawe, Kanda. I'm Natalie Ford.
And my name is Alfred Okanse. Coming up in the next 60 minutes tonight.
News 360 Headlines is brought to you by...
Person suspected to have been involved in the murder of Captain Maxwell Adam Mahama, remanded in police custody.
228 registered candidates from 3 junior high schools in Bunkurugu District of Northern Region to miss out in this year's BECE due to protracted dispute.
Also, President Akufo-Addo challenges African leaders not to rely on donor institutions to decide for the continent where its emphasis of education should be.
We should never have to make a choice. Education or higher education.
Also in the bulletin this evening, Ghana's natural forest resources dwindling following serious destruction of the environment.
And ECOWAS extends the mandate of its military mission in the Gambia by 12 months.
We'll bring you these stories and many more, including business, sports, and entertainment. The next 1 hour. Stay with us here on News 360. My name is Alfred Okanse. Let's go to our first story this evening, where the Accra Central District Court 3 has remanded into police custody 34 suspects for the alleged role in the murder of Captain Maxwell Adam Mahama. The suspects, including 4 women and 2 nursing mothers, have been charged with conspiracy to commit murder and murder.
Paraded under heavy police protection, these 34 suspects have for the first time appeared in court. State Prosecutor George Amaka presented the fact of the case and prayed to the court to remand the suspect until the next adjourned date on June 21, 2017. The prosecutor said that would enable them continue the investigations into the gruesome murder. 41 suspects have so far been remanded in police custody. On Thursday, June 1, 7 other suspects who were arrested in connection with the murder were also remanded in Cape Coast. Trial judge Ebenezer Kwekwansa granted the request of the prosecution to remand the suspect. Captain Maxwell Mahama, a commander of the 5th Infantry Battalion Detachment stationed at Diaso, was lynched on May 29, 2017, when some angry youth of the town attacked him, allegedly on suspicion of being an armed robber. He was beaten to death with part of his body burnt.
Let's now attention to education now, as 228 registered candidates from 3 junior high schools at Kampatiate in the Bunkurugu district of the Northern Region are likely to miss out in this year's basic education certificate examination following protracted conflicts in the district. A total of 40,406 candidates comprising 22,170 boys and 18,236 girls from 810 schools are expected to write these exams across the region.
Candidates from the Gbingbamoni JHS, Kambadiak Central JHS and Gwangbinak JHS are expected to write the exams at the new center at Agbankuni, which is in the same district. Residents blame the development on protracted conflicts in the district. Residents claim they were assured of a center at Kambadiakte by the District Education Directorate, only to be disappointed this morning when the examination took off. They will not understand why Bankuni, which has only 48 candidates compared to Kambadiate's 228, has a center. They contended if remedial measures are not put in place, the candidates will be denied their rights to take part in the examinations. Meanwhile, in Tamale, 11 candidates did not show up at Center B and C of the Northern School of Business Center. Head of invigilators at these centers could only speak for 2 girls at the Gumanis Methodist Junior High School. The news team gathered one is pregnant while the other changed school. The supervisors had no idea what prevented 6 of the absentees, who are mainly girls from the Vineyard Junior High School, from reporting. The remaining candidates are students of Gokuni and Surugu Junior High Schools. The examination at the center began 30 minutes later than the scheduled 8:30 a.m. This is due to the late arrival of question papers.
Okay, let's stay a bit further with this particular story. I've been joined on the telephone by Reverend Jonathan Bette. He's the Public Relations Officer of the Ghana Education Service. He joins us via phone. Reverend, good evening to you, and I want to thank you very much for joining us. So, are you aware of this particular situation of the 228 pupils who are unable to write the BSE today?
Well, thank you very much. As we're talking right now, we have received the information unofficially. It's just through the media, Radio Ghana's message or news. But officially, Ghana Education Service have not yet received any information as to that, about that incident that happened.
All right, so now that you are aware, we are telling you that the situation is what it is. What are you going to do about it? Are they going to be given an opportunity to write the papers that they missed today?
Well, thank you very much. What I think we have to do is to wait till we receive an information or a document proving that from the district director or the examination officer what actually happened over there, which should be channeled to the Director General of Ghana Education Service, who will also be liaising with the West Africa Examination Council to decide the necessary step to take.
Now, the preliminary information we're getting from the ground is that the Bankoni and the Kampotiate chiefs requested for centers individually. Now, the Bankoni chief had his request met, much to the other side of the Kampotiate, who do not have their request met at the moment. They were requested, or they were told, to travel to Bankoni, which is a very long distance, and there was no arrangement made for the students to be bused to the area. Now, if this is the situation, it is no fault of the students. It is much of the fault of the GES for not making an arrangement. If that's taken into consideration, are you going to ensure that they are giving the opportunity to write again? I mean, these papers that they missed.
Well, as we're talking, let's all understand the fact that the PRO of Ghana Education Service, as I'm speaking to you, cannot take a final decision on behalf of Ghana Education Service without consulting my Director General or reporting this incident to my Director General. Well, before then also, let us understand the fact also that before any examination is written, centers, advanced preparations have to be made, which I believe strongly Ghana Education Service have done and reported to West Africa Examination Council, telling them that this center is ready and the packaging of everything, labeling of question papers to wherever it must go to will be done or has been done. And if we are about to start examination today, this Monday, before that incident should happen, that the children have not agreed to write over there at the center, I don't think that immediate action could be taken or can be taken to that effect. So all that I know is my Director General of Ghana Education Service will be notified. He will also liaise with West African Examination Council to take a decision together. So it's just premature for us to take a decision that they're going to write or that ends everything for now.
Okay, so Reverend, but in a situation like this, what are the alternatives? The case where students are unable to write on the first day. If you get into the situation and there's a possibility, what would be the alternative?
Well, if it is a disaster, it depends on whatever happened to prevent them from writing. If it is genuinely made or a disaster that happened, I believe seriously that West Africa Examination Council would have to set another question, but not the same question for the sake of leakage and examination malpractices. They have to go back to their backup questions and then set the question. If it is decided that they have to write by all means, that step will be taken. But if it is somebody's laziness or decision that I will not write for the sake of whatever happened to the person, I think that ends the person's fate as far as BEC is concerned. Okay, so it means they will be given the opportunity to write. I am not saying they will be given the opportunity to write. It's this current incident that is happening. I'm believing that we need to get the information right from the district director of education and the depot directors through the regional director for us to take a decision, a concrete decision on that, whether they're going to write the examination or that ends it. No, but the point I'm trying to make is, Reverend, and I'll let you go, but I mean, we would want to know if there's going to be a situation where they would be given the opportunity to write, because from the information we're picking from the ground, it is no fault of the pupils that they couldn't write. No arrangement was made to bus them to the center. So why should they suffer the consequences of this action? Must rely on your information or the district director who is on the ground information. This all depends on the information that the district director or the report, situational report, that will be coming to the Director General to take a decision. And he alone too cannot take that decision, which I know. He has to liaise with the West African Examination Council, with the ministers concerned to take this. It is a national assignment. Right. Reverend, I would want to thank you. We'll wait to hear from you officially if you get to know. Reverend Jonathan Bette is the Public Relations Officer of the Ghana Education Service on this situation.
Absolutely, Alfred. Interesting response there. But we know that for a total of 35 students are to write the BEC examinations, which began today. So let's just run through the regional breakdown of the BECE for the year 2017 as against the year 2016. The Ashanti region, 93,570 students to write. In the Greater Accra, 85,041. While Central, 50,106 students. And you can see on your screen the Western region is 47,467 students. The Eastern region, 44,319 students. With the Bono Ahafo region expecting 43,744 students to sit the BECE exams for the year 2017. With the Northern region, 38,975. The Volta and Upper East region are also on the screen, with the Upper West region recording 12,051 students expected to write. Now, the total number of candidates, as I mentioned earlier, 468,053 students expected to write the BECE exam for the year 2017, made up of 241,148 male students with 226,905 female students. And these students are going to be sitting in 15,000 schools across the country. And there's a total number of candidates. Let's now move us to the year 2016 for the BECE examination, where the total number of candidates to sit the exam, 461,013 candidates, with 239,963 male, 221,050 females. And that was written in 14,267 public and private schools. And that just gives us a breakdown and a run-through of the year 2016 as against the year 2017. These are the people that wrote the exam in those years. So that's about a 7,000 increase absolutely, from that last year to this year. Okay, let's still stay with this, because the Minister of Education says it will not tolerate lateness by invigilators and other officials who are supervising candidates of the BECE examinations. According to the Ministry, offenders would be sanctioned.
The Minister of State, Professor Kwesi Yankah, gave the warning when he toured some BECE centers in Accra. Together with the Director General of Education, their first port of call was the Accra High School, where students were busily writing their first paper. Later, the team visited the Achimota Cluster of Schools Center, where candidates from 5 schools were writing their papers. One student was indisposed, but had to finish with the first paper. The team made another stopover at Achimota Junior High School. The Minister and the Director General of Ghana Education Service again visited the Anumile Cluster of Schools. Briefing the media after the tour, Professor Kwesi Yankah warned invigilators and other officers to desist reporting late to the centers.
Things like traffic and so on and so forth being an impediment and stopping you from being punctual will not be accepted from tomorrow going.
Director General of GES, Professor Pukwa Mankwa, said government has secured funds to pay invigilators after the exams.
We're expecting to have paid last week, but you know that these things go through procedures at the finance. They have to make sure that they get their numbers and everything right. So we are very definite that before they finish this week, their monies will be with them.
After the first paper, some students shared their experiences.
Write a story that ends with the experience, so it's paid to be kind and strangers. So you have to show good kind to strangers. Maybe someone is passing by, you don't know, although you don't know the person, you can help the person if he asks for direction or excuse me please, can you give me some water to drink? You can serve the person and maybe it's an angel of God.
What's your name?
My name is Judith.
Judith what?
Judith Avumi.
How was your paper?
The letter writing. Write a story that ends with experience, so as to be kind to a stranger. How can you be kind to a stranger that you don't know? So, like, to me, like, I can't be kind to a stranger just like that, because he's a stranger. I don't know what he may do to me.
Still on education, the Basic Schools Coordinator of the Accra Metro Directorate, Rita Sylvia Ofei-Darko, has warned teachers of candidates writing this year's BECE that it's an offense to loiter at the examination centers. It's a common practice to see teachers hang around the examination centers during BECE exams. 23,776 candidates are writing the exams within the Accra metropolis.
More than 400,000 candidates across the country are sitting for this year's Basic Education Certificate examination at 1,702 centers. At the Bishop Bowers School at Latebiokoshi, 213 candidates were expected to write the exams. There were no absentees. The team next visited the Kanishi Technical College Examination Center. 210 candidates from 9 schools were busy writing the English language paper. The supervisor, George Novidro, confirmed that there was no absenteeism and candidates have comported themselves so far. At the Odoko Salaria Basic School Center, 429 candidates from 11 schools were taking part in the exams. The Metropolitan Chief Executive Mohammed J. Sowa encouraged the candidates to take the examination serious and promised the award of scholarship by the Assembly to the top 10 candidates in the public sector.
We are throwing a challenge to you that if your results turn out to be extraordinary, we are likely to increase the beneficiaries of the scholarship scheme that we are instituting.
The Basic Schools Coordinator, Accra Metro Education Directorate, Rita Sylvia Ofei-Darko, warned teachers who loiter at the centers.
In as much as we believe our presence gives our children the moral support, if we are not careful, it goes the other way around.
Some of the students spoke to the news team.
I thought it was hard, but when I saw the paper, I said I was over to conquer it.
The paper was so good, and we tried our best and did what we can do. Then I think so we'll pass this exam.
The examination is scheduled to end on Friday, June 9.
Let's go to the Eastern region where we'll bring you an update of the situation there. Invigilators and supervisors of the Basic Education Certificate examination have been warned to avoid aiding pupils to engage in any form of examination malpractice. The Eastern Regional Director of Education, Gertrude Mensah, pointed out the rules governing all examinations must be adhered to. Last year, 2 teachers were interdicted for examination malpractice.
A total of 44,749 candidates are expected to write the BECE in the Eastern region. The news team was at the Ufuri-Penyin Senior High and Abuakwa State College centers. The Eastern Regional Director of Education, Gertrude Mensah, warned invigilators not to assist candidates engaged in any form of examination malpractice but be vigilant and go by the rules of the examination.
As teachers, as invigilators, we have rules governing the conduct of the examination. So they had already been trained, and I was just reminding them and cautioning them that at times one or two will go wayward and try to assist the students.
The Eastern Regional Minister Eric Kwachi encouraged candidates to work hard to pass the examinations to enable them enjoy the free senior high education government intends implementing from September.
We have not come to change the status quo immediately. People are thinking that it should be mass push from junior high school into the senior high school. But we are saying no. The system is that you need to qualify. All those who qualify will begin to enjoy the free senior high school.
Well, we wish all the students the best in their examinations. Let's now turn our attention away from education to the environmental sector, as despite its rich natural resource, Ghana has been confronted with a lot of activities which deteriorates its natural reserves, ranging from illegal mining to deforestation. These activities pose serious threats to the environment. As the world marks Environment Day, Irene Amesimeku has been looking at the impact of these activities on the environment.
Illegal mining, deforestation, pollution and encroachment on forest areas are some activities affecting Ghana's vegetative cover and the environment. As a result, 12.19% of Ghana's forest area is lost yearly. The Achimota forest, for instance, has lost 134.95 hectares, which amounts to 27% of the forest area. Aside the depletion of forest cover, illegal mining activities have also resulted in the pollution of water bodies in the country. Environmentalist and president of Friends of Rivers and Water Bodies, Nana Jumo Sapon, is calling for a concerted effort towards preserving environment.
These trees are absorbing the carbon and they also breathe out oxygen for us. So by this forest we are getting good air, oxygen to breathe. Without this forest, Accra, there will be too much. There's a lot of pollution in Accra, and it's only this forest which is helping us. So today, as we connect to nature, see the beauty of nature, see the scenery atmosphere, all we are telling people that let's conserve nature.
This, he said, would help Ghanaians appreciate the beauty of nature, urging law enforcement agencies to put measures in place to protect the environment.
The law enforcers are not helping us. They come out with explanations which are unacceptable. If everybody will do his work and enforce the laws that we have in our status book, some of the disasters we have, like the June 3rd, won't happen. But we want to take this opportunity to tell the people who have been put in charge of our environment to do their work well.
Regional Manager of Forests in the Greater Accra region, Edith Ansa, further reiterated the need to appreciate and patronize natural reserves in the country.
The President, Akufo-Addo, has challenged African leaders not to rely on the World Bank or any other institution to decide for the continent, where the emphasis of educational needs should be. At the 14th General Conference of the Association of African Universities in Accra, he stressed African economies should be run in a way that will enable the funding of education and free from foreign interference.
Of African Universities is the apex organization and principle for consultation of information and cooperation among institutions of higher education in Africa. Commemorating his 14th General Conference and 50th anniversary, President Akufo-Addo regretted the weak linkages between African universities and the productive sectors. He indicated Africa's educational institutions' positive contribution towards development should be well documented, but stressed the need to eschew foreign interference.
We should never have to make a choice between basic education or higher education. We should never have to rely on the World Bank or any other institution to decide for us where the emphasis should be in our education need.
The president of the association, Professor Orlando Kilambo, said members will continue to focus on the development of education on the continent and make applied science, engineering and technology priorities.
After 50 years of operation, it is important to sit back and take stock of how far we have come in terms of our achievements. It's important to look at our challenges and decide on the next step forward.
A former president of the association, Professor Ishak Oluyede, said it is high time African universities became developmental universities whose focus will lie in the way they impact on its citizens.
Even in regions where education seems to be improving in Africa, the impact it should make is not commensurate with the figures in dollars.
It represents a high level of education in Africa and supports networking by African institutions to improve the quality of teaching, research, information exchange, among others.
This bulletin is streaming live on 3news.com as well as News on TV3 on Facebook and GhanaWeb.com. Return with more news shortly. Stay with us.
It's still News 360. Thanks for staying with us. My name is Nanekia Mensah Brampa. We begin with issues on energy tonight, and workers of the electricity company have blamed the Minister of Energy, Boakye Jako, for the mob attack against staff of the company at Somanya in the eastern region. Now, according to Deputy General Secretary of the Public Utility Workers Union, Richard Nyaba, a joint National Executive Council meeting of senior and junior staff of ECG have resolved workers of the company in the area should vacate post effective today.
Some residents of Somenya attacked the ECG office in the town following their dissatisfaction with what they described as outrageous utility bills. Following the incident, there has been a joint National Executive Council meeting of senior and junior staff of the company to deliberate on the issue. According to the workers, there has been a trend in the attacks on ECG workers following similar situations at Dansoman, Roman Ridge, Teshi, Ashaiman, Kede and Kwabre.
They were attacked on Friday, the 26th of May, and for the fear of their own safety, the workers decided to vacate the place.
The ECG workers blamed the recent attack on their staff on statements by the Energy Minister on billing challenges. Deputy General Secretary Richard Nyaba says only firm assurances of the safety of ECG workers in Somenya will lead to a reversal of the directive.
That we are saying until they are assured of their safety, they should not also get back to work. They should stay at where they know they will be safe.
The emergency meeting directed that red flags be hoisted at all ECG operational areas for 1 week in solidarity with the workers at Somenya.
And away from energy, MTN Ghana has launched its 21 Days of Yellow Care 2017 in Accra. The annual staff volunteer program runs across all MTN groups for 21 days in the month of June.
10 years, MTN has created tremendous change in the lives of communities, especially education, through the 21 Days of Yellow Care. MTN staff carry out classroom innovations, literacy projects, information communication technology training, and provision of digital educational content to some schools across the country. This year's campaign will start with the renovation of classrooms, provision of ICT trainings, and donation of educational content to Street Academy in Accra. In addition, MTN will make available online supplementary reading materials for some schools and also hold capacity training for teachers in selected special schools. Corporate Services Executive at MTN, Cynthia Lumor, says MTN will continue to invest in the lives of Ghanaians.
Staff members doing volunteer work in the interest of investing in education for all, which is the theme for our 21 Days of Yellow Care.
Head of Planning and Statistics at Special Education Division at Ghana Education Service, Jeremiah Boehi Staya, lauded MTN for the good work.
When we talk about inclusive education, it needs the support of every stakeholder, every corporate organization, because at the end of the day, these children will come back to this corporate world to come and work there.
Now, marketing manager of Fan Mill Ghana, Gifty Ejefianko, has expressed delight at the massive endorsement of its new products, Fan Max. The naturally enriched product was launched barely 2 weeks ago.
It's a brand new day, fresh start.
Consumers across the country were at the FunMax Fill Your Day party. The event was spiced with music, dance, and a karaoke section. Some patrons also used the occasion to take selfies and videos with their favorite celebrities. The management team of FunMill Ghana was not left out of the carnival as they joined to perform the official FunMax promo dance. The FunMax For Your Day party experience was also intended to enable management and staff interact with customers to elicit their feedback on the product.
As FunMill, our mission is to enhance the well-being of as many people as possible by offering nourishing, refreshing, and enjoyable products. And for this reason, we constantly seek to innovate, and this innovation is informed by relevant consumer insights.
Some customers share their FunMax experience.
Compared with the strawberry and the vanilla, I will go for the strawberry.
My favorite is the vanilla because it tastes really good and it has a nice and smooth flavor.
Honestly, it's obvious that it's great. I have to advise every friend to take it.
FunMax, recommended for all age groups, is to be distributed throughout all 5,500 outlets across the country.
Well, there's more news on our website. It's 3news.com. My name is Nanikia Mensah-Bampa. Return with more on News 360. Good evening.
You're watching News 360. My name is Michael Otiye. Time to walk you through the major sporting stories for the day. And we begin on the sad note because former Newcastle midfielder Sheikh Tiote has died after reportedly suffering a heart attack while training with his club in China. The 30-year-old was reported to have collapsed at a training ground on Monday and taken to a local hospital where he was pronounced dead. The Ivorian midfielder, whose wife is expecting a baby this week, played 15 times for Newcastle in a 7-year period. He played 52 times as well for his country, Ivory Coast, and was a Nations Cup winner in 2015. The Ivory Coast international joined the Chinese club Beijing Enterprise in January, having spent 7 years at St. James's Park. And as you can see on your screen, a few tributes to Sheikh Tiote, including one from current Newcastle and Ghana midfielder Christian Achu. Expressing his condolence, Achu says he's devastated and saddened by the death of his brother Sheikh Tiote. May Allah grant you Jama, Achu said. There were also tweets from the likes of Yaya Toure and Kole Toure, all urging him to rest in peace. On to some Black Star stories now. And they have arrived in Kumasi ahead of the 2019 Nations Cup qualifier against Ethiopia on Sunday and plunged straight into training after an enthusiastic welcome. The game at the Barbara Stadium will be Ghana's first in Kumasi in 2 years, and Coach Kwesi Appiah is hoping it will provide the perfect launch pad for the team as they seek to reach an 8th straight Nations Cup. And meanwhile, team captain Asamoah Gyan has told TV3 Sports that the team are desperate to win and get their campaign off to a good start. He told David Taylor about the team's ambitions and his own season at club level.
Joined up with the Black Stars on Saturday for training, but is feeling good about the side's chances. Gyan says he is also thrilled to be working with Kwesi Appiah again and hopes the new man's second spell in charge will be much more successful.
I know the kind of coach he is. I've worked with him the last couple of years, and then he coming back to the team is another different level altogether. Maybe he learned some mistakes that he did before, and I don't know what he's got on the table right now. But I think he's learned a lot and he's got a lot of experience as compared to the previous years. So we can't wait to work with him.
There are those who have questioned Gyan's presence in the team after his recent struggles with injury and dip in form, but he's adamant he still has a lot to give the team.
As I always say, me being on the field is the most important thing because I've got a lot of qualities to do the job, So I just need to be fit on the field, and that's it. And that was what I did in the last couple of games. And I'm very, very happy to be back, and then the confidence level is also back.
Still related to the Black Stars, and the team will be without goalkeeper Adam Kwarase for that game against Ethiopia and the friendly against the USA and Mexico, or in the US after he pulled out for family reasons. The Brondby and former Portland Timbers goalkeeper has told the GFA that he will not be able to honor the invitation, which prolongs his absence from the Black Stars after he withdrew as well from the 2017 Nations Cup squad. Coach Kwesi Appiah confirmed the news to TV3 Sports, but will not elaborate on the exact reasons for Kwarase's withdrawal. It leaves Appiah with 3 home-based goalkeepers to rely on for that game against Ethiopia in the friendlies in the USA. They include Kotoko's Felix Annan and Richard Ofori of defending champions WA All-Stars. While Appiah is adamant the squad can cope with any withdrawals, there will be those concerned about the lack of experience in the goalkeeping department in the side. Appiah already dropped first-choice Ghana goalkeeper from the last 3 years, Razak Brahima, and regular backup Fatau Dauda, who was first choice at the 2014 World Cup, leaving Ofori the only member of the present side with any sort of experience at international level. Our next story is a mix of religion and football, and it's been one of the most talked about stories online in the football world today. A service by Living Stream Church to celebrate Chelsea's English Premier League title. But what was exactly the idea behind the service, and could this provide clues for churches about how they can draw on football to win more souls? We send Durabedo Champong to find out more.
Have gone viral and the reactions have been varied. When a flyer emerged advertising a church service to celebrate Chelsea's Premier League triumph, there were those who thought it was a joke. But last Sunday at the Living Streams International Church, Reverend Dr. Ebenezer Markwe, decked in his Arsenal jersey, delivered a sermon to an audience with many, including DJ turned pastor Azigza Jr. in his Chelsea blue. There are those who say this is another sign of the negative obsession with English football, but Reverend Markwe says it's a unique way of drawing more people to church through the power of football.
We can use football to advertise beer. We can use football to advertise peace. We can use football to speak to people about different issues. Or we can use football to address racism. So why can't we use football to speak about Christ, if it is possible? Every platform is a platform for us to speak about Christ. And I would, Paul made a statement. He said, by all means that I may win some. By all means that I may win some.
The idea was the initiative of Azigza Jr. himself, a strong Chelsea fan. He has been thrilled with the reaction so far.
Somebody would have gone to some bar to get drunk, been knocked by a car somewhere. We said, no, don't go and do that. It's the same euphoria, that same excitement. Bring it to church. Come and dance with your jersey. Come and have all the fun. But when we finish, we'll talk to you about Christ. And we did. And we got some people to also accept the Lord. So it was a great thing.
So there's a chance next season you might see a few more of this. Whether it shows an unhealthy affection for foreign football or a unique way of drawing people to Christ, there is no denying that the mix of football and church is already proving hugely popular.
They even played the Chelsea anthem. That's quite a unique church. That's all the sports for now. Tomorrow morning on Sports on New Day, more reaction to Sheikh Tiote's death and updates from the French Open.
Welcome back. Let's go into a world of entertainment where members of the Ghana Actors Guild on Monday visited the family of the late Captain Maxwell Adam Mahama to express their sympathy for the loss. The president of the guild, Sam Fishian, hinted the union is considering a partnership with government to record films and skits to educate Ghanaians to desist from the instant justice action.
Even the guild, the family expressed its profound appreciation for their visits, prayer and support, and comforting words. Condemning mob justice, president of the guild, Sam Fishian, expressed the guild's sympathy, stating the union is with the family as they go through trying and difficult moments. The Actors Guild is considering partnering stakeholders to shoot films and skits to sensitize Ghanaians against instant justice.
We need to say no to instant justice, and it is now. Some discussions have started. We shall be liaising with the appropriate stakeholders just so that we'll look at the possibility of partnering to put out something that probably could speak to the hearts of Ghanaians who are beginning to behave as if they are not Ghanaians.
Other actors urged all and sundry to join the clarion call for justice for the late captain.
I just got to know that he even acted in some of the series, Kokoro and all that. I didn't even know he was an actor. All I'll say is may his soul rest in peace. May God put him to rest.
I don't know Ghanaians to be heartless, you know, so my condolences go out to the family. Yeah, and we should all learn from this, and we need to think before we react.
We're scared because we need a conducive atmosphere to ply our trade as performers. This should be condemned in no uncertain terms, and we will do whatever we have to do to ensure that justice is done in this case and all other cases.
The former Deputy Minister of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts, Jifa Gomashi, wants Ghanaians to see the incident as a learning curve and say no to mob justice.
We must learn our patriotism all over again. I think somebody has to teach it all over again, that no Ghanaian, nobody deserves to die like this. It's a learning curve. It's a learning curve for all of us.
In other entertainment news this evening, veteran Nigerian singer and songwriter, as well as activist Onyeka Onwenu, has condemned the spate of nudity and indecency in music videos released by younger artists. She wants women in the entertainment industry to be bold enough to reject any role that portrays them as sex objects, noting it is heart-wrenching to see young ladies allow themselves to be paraded on television in sultry apparels. Onwenu, who's a former executive director of the National Center for Women Development, however, expressed hope that as the artists grow older, they will experience a change which will transform their lifestyle as well as their music. Strong words there. We'll join you with more news on News 360 shortly. Stay with us.